Once upon a time, there was a very beautiful lady. Her name was Nnenna. She was very fair, that her skin color made her pronounced in the old town of Omoma. She was a beautiful, kind-hearted lady. Her long hair and her skin color was something else. She has a blonde hair that nobody in the village had. No man will ever pass her by without turning back to look at her sparkling color and beauty. She grew up with her mother in the village because she lost her father while she was still young. Her mother was so happy when she was born, always carried her on her legs and smiled, staring at her face while she was still a toddler. Nnenna grew up and became a very beautiful lady. Her skin color was so amazing. Nnenna was the talk of the town because of her color. However, she had a best friend named Uchechi. They were so fond of each other. They were almost the same age, same height, and same size. They loved each other very much. They will always go to the stream together, sing and dance while fetching water from the stream. Apparently, they were the envy of the other girls in the village because they were so inseparable, and everybody loved their friendship. One morning, Nnenna was washing clothes outside with her best friend Uchechi. While Nnenna was spreading her clothes on the rope, she thought of her father and became very emotional, but flipped off the feelings the moment she remembered her wonderful mother and her best friend beside her. She felt complete and was very happy. One evening, Nnenna and her friend were strolling down the village road when a young handsome man dressed so cute passed them by. Their eyes met and they both smiled at each other coincidentally. Uchechi also liked the man the moment they saw each other, but Nnenna felt nothing for him. It was just a coincidence that their eyes met, so she thought. The man asked around and wanted to know who the fair-skinned girl was. Everybody knew her in the village because she was the only one that has that color in the village, technically. His name was Ebuka. He was just in the village to visit his grandparents because he didn't grow up there. He was told that the only person he would quickly get through to be able to reach out to Nnenna was her best friend. He visited Uchechi at her house. Uchechi was so surprised and at the same time very happy, and told Uchechi that he's in love with Nnenna. But Uchechi wasn't happy. Rather, she was so angry because she was already in love with the young man. He consistently begged her for the opportunity of meeting with her best friend Nnenna, but she kept lying to the man that Nnenna wasn't into men. She began to taint her image and said many awful and terrible things about her. The next day, he visited her and saw her washing her clothes outside. Ebuka wouldn't stop, but keep persisting. That fateful day, he found her in her hut washing clothes. Nnenna was surprised on how he found her. He pleaded for a chance to allow him speak to her. Nnenna wasn't so heartless, so he granted him the audience. He explained everything to her. However, her best friend told him a lot of terrible things about her, but he couldn't disclose the whole secret because he didn't want to be the reason for their separation or them fighting. They started getting along as friends and gradually fell in love with each other. Nnenna told her best friend Uchechi everything about their relationship. One evening, Nnenna and Ebuka were just sitting outside their hut when Ebuka surprisingly asked Nnenna for her hand in marriage in front of her mother. Nnenna was so surprised as he hadn't been to the city in her life before. Seeing a man kneeling down before her to propose to her was strange to her. Her mother had to give her the go-ahead to accept the proposal. They were so happy, and Ebuka was so happy as well. Nnenna told her best friend about the proposal. Her jealousy and hatred became worse, and she went home angrily and plotted on how to kill Nnenna. She hated Nnenna so much that she came up with a plan of harming her, just to stop her from marrying the man she's also in love with. One hot afternoon, under the scorching sun, Nnenna had finished her chores and was having a siesta. She came with a bucket of water to Nnenna's house and asked they should go to the stream to swim and also fetch water back home. Her mother had a bad feeling about it, but she paved way for her, knowing it's what they have been doing from a very long time. And Uchechi is her best friend and could trust her. Nnenna was very happy that she didn't think twice, then rushed out of the house with Uchechi. When they got to the stream, she asked Nnenna to go inside the stream while she pretended to pull off her clothes so she can join her. The moment Nnenna stepped into the stream and bent down to pull too, she picked a stick and hit her on the head and pulled her far away inside the stream and left her there to die. While Nnenna was falling down, she cried out for help, but Uchechi stood there with the stick in her hands, watching her angrily while holding her head and asking tearfully, "What wrong have I done to you? Why did you suddenly hate me? I thought we were best friends from childhood." Uchechi hissed loudly and said to her, "Now do you really want to know why? Because I hate you so much. I hate you very much. You seem to be the most beautiful in the village and the best dancer. And worst of all the men want only you. And I sometimes seem invisible everywhere and anywhere we go. And you think I will watch you marry the man I love, a very handsome and rich man, whom I was the first to fall in love with him. No, I won't allow it. Die and let me see how you will get married to him. If I can't have him, you can never marry him." She threw away the stick and left. She went to her house without going back to Nnenna's house. A young lady that was a great swimmer saw them. She swam to the big stream where she was lying and dragged her up to the shore. Uchechi went to Nnenna's mother's house and lied that Nnenna had been drowned and they had tried to rescue her, but nobody could find her. The following morning was supposed to be a wine carrying. The news reached Ebuka, her fiancé, and he was so broken. He always felt it in his heart that Uchechi is lying and that Nnenna is alive, because he began to recall the first time he approached Uchechi and all the lies she told him about Nnenna. He kept searching for her everywhere, but to no avail. Uchechi was able to convince Nnenna to marry her. She convinced Ebuka to get married to her as she thought and told him she was the better choice and option for a wife for him. Though the villagers mourned over her death because she was such a kind-hearted lady and fun to be with. On the day of Uchechi's traditional marriage, Ebuka heard a voice calling him from behind. He turned around to see where the voice was coming from. To his greatest surprise, he couldn't believe his eyes when he saw it was Nnenna. Uchechi was so scared and surprised to his bone marrow to see her best friend still alive, because she thought all along that she was dead. She tried to escape, but she was held back by the villagers who came with Nnenna. Nnenna explained everything that happened that day, and also in her subconsciousness, she heard everything Uchechi said to her. Ebuka was so happy to see the love of his life back and alive. Her poor mother was so worried sick for the past 1 month. She went to her house and met her mother sleeping outside, and she was very sick. She thought she had seen a ghost when she saw her beauty glittering daughter. Behold, it was Nnenna. Her joy was complete and immeasurable. A few days later, Ebuka got married to Nnenna. As they were planning their marriage on their traditional wedding day, they were told by one villager that they found Uchechi dead in her house, as she committed suicide and died on her sleep because she drank some poison and couldn't bear the shame and pain. Nnenna felt very pity for her, and all her anger immediately went away. She mourned her for a while, and later, after a week, they got married, and they lived happily ever after. Ebuka's joy was very complete to finally get married to the love of his life. Truly what they say, the wages of sin is death. What's the moral of this story? Please share your comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and also click on the notification bell to always get notified anytime a new video drop. Thank you as you wait for a new story.